For the past few months, I've been working on a single-player card game. There's been a lot of card games coming out these past few years. Slay the Spire, Monster Train, Across the Obelisk, Griftlands, SteamWorld Quest, Hellcard, Wild Frost, Roguebook, and that's not even scratching the surface. And you notice something about all these games? They're all roguelikes. And there's nothing wrong with that, but they're really not like the traditional card games like Magic the Gathering or Yu-Gi-Oh! One day I was playing this game called Littlewood. Littlewood is a little charming game where you kinda just build a town and make friends with the villagers. What does this have to do with cards, you ask? Well, in Littlewood there's a small minigame. It's called Tarot Monsters. As you interact with your world, you can sometimes receive these tarot cards, and you can use those cards to build a deck. Why don't we have a game just like this? Why don't we have a game like Littlewood, but focus just on the card collection? Imagine how cool it would be if we had a game where you could just open packs and get cool new cards. Now let's imagine you get a card you already had enough copies of. What if you could fuse your duplicate cards together and permanently turn them into an upgraded version of that same card? Wouldn't that just be really cool? What if you could have a full-blown story with rich dialogues and minigames like you'd kind of expect from a normal video game, but not from a trading card game? And that's what I wanted to make. I wanted to make a traditional trading card game, but with all the fun parts that you'd find on normal single-player games. I messaged my friend and I told her, I'm making a card game. We need a name. And we started coming up with all sorts of different names like Shadowbane, Shadow Magic, Siege of Shadows, Shadow Siege, Los Colorados Los Cardos, A Gathering of Shadows, Storm of Shadows, Shadow Storm, and Heirloom of Magic, and Shadows. And I was like, this is going nowhere. So I messaged my other friend and he said, Echo Vale. So I went back to my other friend and I said, Echo Vale. It's fine. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a name. Now I needed to start designing the board. So I went to look at other examples for inspiration. One thing you'll notice is that the board is oftentimes not actually symmetrical. For example, a lot of times your cards will be bigger than your opponent's. Their cards don't really matter since they're all hidden anyway, and this gives the player more space for their own cards. And with that in mind, I always start with a rough mock-up of how I want things to look, and I slowly refine it until it looks good. I'm pretty happy with how it looks right now, so I won't be messing with this for at least a little while. But there's a big issue though, canvas size. If you don't know, the canvas size is what determines how much space you have to work with. Depending on the size of your pixel art, you need to select an appropriate canvas size. I'm operating on a 320 by 180 canvas, but most games like modern pixel art games have actually pretty big canvas sizes, which lets them put very detailed, very beautiful art. Now if you've ever tried making a card game in a small canvas like me, then let me tell you, that's a really bad decision. You see, card games are notorious for needing a lot of text, since players need to be able to know what any card does at any given time. But if you use a small canvas size like I have, you just can't fit all that text. The first thing I did to try and solve this was to implement keywords, which should help me reduce the amount of text I need. So if you hover over a card, you'll see the explanation for that keyword pop up. The second thing was just to make the cards bigger when they're in your hand, so all the text can fit in there nicely. Third, I just reduced the amount of text since I'm not really going for a super complex game like Magic, so hopefully I won't need that much text to begin with. The base idea for the game is the same as most card games. You start at a certain amount of health, you play units and spells, and you try to get your opponent's life to 0. I really don't like roguelikes, and in my game, you'll be able to upgrade cards permanently, and you can grind out for better decks and progress through the story and battle against increasingly harder opponents. Maybe you could even have some exclusive cards that you can't get from packs, only by getting certain achievements or minigames. Who knows? If you 100% the game, maybe you'll even get the secret curry card. If you've ever played Magic the Gathering, you know how annoying it is to not draw lands when you need them, or to draw a land when you don't need it. In my game, each color has certain archetypes like Magic, but unlike Magic. Each turn, you automatically receive a random energy from the colors of your deck, up to a total of 10 energy. I also added what I call challenges. Challenges are a special type of card that automatically starts on the field, and that gives you a big reward if you manage to complete it. If you've ever played Hearthstone, it's kinda like quest cards, except both players start with one. Anyway, that's the base idea for my game. If you've got any cool ideas, let me know. If a few people get interested in my game, I can actually make a Discord server where we can host cool stuff like weekly card idea challenges. The best card idea each week gets implemented into the game. It's only been a few months since I've started development. We still have a very long road ahead, but slowly we'll be making progress. In the next video, I'll be working on the pack opening and the deck building aspects of the game, if I have time for it. I'll also try my hand at the biggest nightmare of any trading card game. It scares me to even think about it. The AI. For now, this has been Curry. And as always, thanks for watching.